Hi everybody, welcome to the 12th episode of Never Over the Hill. Yay. Today is a very special day because I'm welcoming my brother, my little baby brother, onto the pod. He is the most amazing chef. Well, his name is Eric Bolyard, Eric Wesley Bolyard. He's the most amazing chef. He is the best little brother. Best uncle, best guy around. And we were actually on our cousin's podcast last year. And after that, I think we both said, let's do a podcast together, right?
Well,
we wanted to do one together.
You definitely inspired, you were inspired to yes. have your own.
Right. I was inspired to have my own, but Eric and I were going to do a joint podcast, which we'll get into in a little bit. But for now, I'm going to pass the mic to Eric. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he does for his work. And introduce yourself, Eric.
What's up, y'all? Eric Wesley Bolyard, thank you for that beautiful intro. It's very special to be here today. We are, we have a wonderful relationship and happy to be here. So I am a professional chef and restaurateur in New York City, have a couple spots, predominantly wine bars, super serious food program, but we like to have fun with it. We like to take ourselves not too seriously, but the hospitality and service and product seriously, and that's kind of like the mantra for my life. So I was going to be in fashion, graduated from Boston University in 2005, as Hilary did a few years prior, and basically was going to go into fashion, take after my sister's footsteps, and
like business side, right?
Yeah, sort of? I was going to be a buyer in the men's Saks Fifth Avenue program, but quit my job out of college before I even started to work for $8 an hour in a kitchen in the middle of Long Island, get my foot in the door, and never worked a day in my life in a restaurant, and never went back.
Yep, and it was I remember the first couple things Eric cooked in our parents' kitchen, and they were really bad. And when I tell you, and you never went to culinary school.
No,
so
never did.
The fact that he worked in restaurants and basically learned in restaurants, which is totally the way I think that we do things in our family.
Yeah, you gotta be in the field. You gotta experience things as it's meant in real life.
So, so what restaurants? Tell everybody what restaurants you.
I mean, amazing little spot where I kind of delved in, called Kitchen a Bistro out in Long Island near St. James. Little 30-seat, daily changing blackboard menu, open kitchen, in a little strip mall.
Strip mall.
Strip mall. But that was like getting paid to go to culinary school. Never went to culinary school, and it's definitely worth just diving in head first.
I mean, look, you got paid $8 an hour to learn. That's how you have to think about it, instead of
I got paid more there.
Okay, that's good. But then, actually, so interestingly enough, last night, Eric made dinner for us. It's my husband's birthday today. Happy birthday, Petey. And I asked Eric to make a dish from back in those days. So after Kitchen a Bistro, Eric headed up another project that, can I say Eric? So anyway, Eric Lamondo. Eric Lamondo was Eric's first chef boss, and he opened a little spot called Kitchen a Trattoria, and there was a dish on the menu, the pappardelle bolognese, and it was Pete's favorite, and so I asked you to make it last night, and it is still, how many years later? 15 years later, because I was a waitress
17
while I was pregnant with my daughter.
And you worked for me.
And I worked for Eric. Which was
Eric. So awesome.
So awesome. We have stories to tell. Like how I used to drink very strong beers and then do the kitchen, the wait service. And Eric had to be like, no, you're allowed one Coronita. One. And that is it. No more Dale's Pale Ale. So anyway. Okay, so we are going to dive into some questions. And my first question to you, Eric, is do you have a name for your style or describe your style?
So definitely would say it has to be high-low.
Okay, I love that.
High-low for me is like the epitome of what I do. It's how I see like my food on a plate. It's how I see my, attire in the day-to-day. And for me, like, juxtaposition is interesting.
That's one of his favorite words.
I figured you'd say that. You're gonna get a real brother-sister dynamics on this one.
Yep.
But I think it's interesting. Just there's like a tension there, but at ease.
Right. Yes. Oh my God, I love that. That's so brilliant. Like, it's effort, but it's effortless at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'm very much the same in that. Right.
But intentionally different.
Yes. Right.
Simultaneously.
Totally. Okay, so then I don't even have to ask you if you can describe your style in 3 words, because your name for your style is high-low.
Well, yeah, I mean that could be like the overarching theme, when I wake up and decide what I'm going to put on most days. But I think it's edgy at times. I think it's classic at times. I don't think you can necessarily, or I necessarily can't pinpoint those words to describe it as a whole, because I intentionally don't wear the same things or have the same style regularly.
Okay.
I intentionally mix it up.
Okay.
And no one can pigeonhole me necessarily into being one thing.
Right.
Like, oh, Eric's the fill in the blank guy.
Right. Okay. So then actually I was going to ask you next if you have a daily uniform. So I need you to tell us, like, you might not have a daily uniform, but you must have something that you go to, like, for especially when you're in the kitchen.
Yeah, so I'm not the Chef White's type of guy. When I worked at 11 Madison Park for years back in the day, I had to wear white everything, black pants, white top, those crazy stupid toques that like would hit this lamp,
Right.
And that was, I appreciated the classic nature of hierarchical French kitchen at that time.
Right.
But I would never wear that now.
Was it hard for you to cook in that?
No, you get used to it.
Okay.
It's just part of that was the uniform
Right.
then when I was there. But
did
as
you
far
feel like
as,
it made you more serious as a chef?
There's like from the outside, there's a vantage point of that being, very, clean,
Right.
defined,
Right.
classic.
Right.
So I appreciated and respected the idea behind that. But now, I mean, you'd never find me in a chef coat even, let alone like a 12, 14-inch paper toque.
Where do you hide your rat then?
That was a Ratatouille reference for all those. Yeah. So.
Okay. So then, what do you wear to cook at the restaurant?
I historically, thereafter, once I started doing my own thing, it was always like black skinny jeans, black t-shirt, usually a backwards hat when I was in the kitchen. That's kind of like very representative of what I wear day to day. Sneakers, I wouldn't wear like weird kitchen shoes that look like...
No Crocs?
No. Definitely
Right.
not. I've never had Crocs in my life.
Okay.
But now I've switched up my style. I was doing that for like, in my hipster days for probably 15 years, wearing like black skinny jeans. And I honestly, as of maybe in the last year, I got tired of it. I wanted to like kind of go totally the opposite extreme.
Okay.
And started buying just ultra baggy pants. And that's kind of like, if you could say what my daily kind of uniform is now, it's less skinny jeans. Sometimes, I wear what I need to wear, knowing that I might need to get dirty in the day.
Okay.
It's even if I'm not necessarily in the kitchen.
Right.
I'm fixing the toilet at the restaurant. I'm, fixing plumbing
But
in the
not
dish
at the
pit.
same time that he's cooking. Don't worry, everybody.
I don't cook as much as I used to in the space. I'm more like on the operational side and putting out fires and, managing people. But I always have to jump in, at any point in the day.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, now it's more like I'll roll up with, Doc Marten chunky tassel loafers and ultra baggy jeans and probably still a black t-shirt, but I kind of shifted where I wanted to be for myself.
Okay,
yeah.
I love that. Okay, so then my next question is, did style and fashion, or the idea of style and fashion, influence your career choice?
I'd have to say absolutely not. I feel like ironically it was almost the other way around, because I went to Boston University. I was actually the VP of this fashion and retail association at Boston University, and I was the only guy in it. I kind of ran it my senior year.
I don't even think I knew this. Okay, this is really weird.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, we were actually like somewhat aligned in where we were at when we were at that point in our lives in university, like respectively. But then I was, like I mentioned, I was gonna go into fashion afterwards.
Oh my God, do you remember? We were gonna start a shirt brand together.
We were Maharaja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
I know, we had big plans.
We did.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that got derailed. I just got really in tune with the idea of creating in a different way through food, and like that's where my vision comes through.
Your style, you have like a food style.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's not fashion style, but it's similar in terms of the way you arrange a plate and the way that you.
Yeah, think about putting things together, like how I was saying, like the high-low, how you can have a tension on the plate, and you think about texture like you would putting together an outfit. You think about, acidity, salt, fat, how those things balance one another. There needs to be balance on the plate, there needs to be balance on your body, and that's how things are received in the way that you intend.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I love that. And also it's funny because, us being related and growing up in the same household, and like we now, I'm 47, you're 41. Yes. And I feel like we have very similar ideas on things, but we just bring it into the world in different.
Through a different lens.
Through a different lens, but through a different vehicle.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like our father, did the same through working with wood. And like even though I have a management degree from university, business management degree from university, like I'm very proud to have found my way through like craft and creating like a raw material, bringing out its best without destroying its like natural integrity. And that's like what you do with your upcycled towels. That's what I do, with an ingredient on the plate.
Right.
And that's what our father did with, what was a tree.
Yeah. Yes, totally. Yeah. Very brilliant. And I also feel like the whole entrepreneurial gene runs in our family. Just like I could never, I know you have like bosses, but I feel like you're very much like you like the freedom, even though you're always working, to like do your own thing, make your own schedule, like, just
yeah, it's we manage ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so because I've known you my whole entire life, or your whole entire life, I've known you your whole entire life. I remember a lot of really funny outfits that you wore when you were little, mostly what mom dressed you in. But I want to know a memory, like a style memory for you when you were growing up, like either really good or really bad.
You probably remember more than I do.
Okay.
Because you have so many old photos of us.
And I was trying to make you look at them last night. Yeah.
Yes. She was trying to prime me for my mistake outfits over the years. But no, my mind immediately goes to 6th grade. I was in Mr. Chopard's class. Okay. He was hilarious.
Yep.
I remember there was like the classroom had like a stage on it. in this.
I didn't have show part team, but I do remember that he used to try to send people to another teacher's classroom, students, to say gracias instead of gracias, to get us in trouble. Yeah.
He was a good dude. So I remember we had a reading, like whatever children's literature, and in that year, I recall being made fun of for tucking in my shirt so much so that they nicknamed me by the name of the book we read called Tuck Everlasting. So I actually probably tucked in my shirt every day for like a year and a half at that point.
Okay.
I don't know why I liked it so much. I still don't know why I liked it so much. But
it made you feel like probably like all put together.
Something like that.
Well, anyway,
something like that.
So
but we read the book, and then that became my name.
Okay.
Which was like not a vibe when you're
was it like
12 years old.
And you were upset about it. Did you ever tuck in your shirt ever again?
I didn't cry about it, but I wasn't stoked about it.
Right. So did you stop tucking in your shirt?
I don't think so.
You still tucked it in?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I just remember Mom used to always dress you in
I know what you're going to say.
What?
Well, Gap turtlenecks.
Oh no, yes, turtlenecks, but also she used to dress you in clothes that had numbers. Like a lot of like faux football jerseys when you were little.
Yeah.
And like football pants. It was like Eric was born in 1983, so it was like prime like, late 80s or like mid 80s vibes. And I remember you got really into starter jackets and you were like, I like Charlotte Hornets. I don't know, maybe it was a player on the team. But anyway, you loved it, and then you got your whole bedroom redone in Charlotte Hornets theme, and you had a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket, and it was just like so random.
And a jersey, yeah.
Yeah.
Your son, my nephew, was showing me his jersey yesterday, and the Hornets jersey, I specifically said that was my favorite team back in the day when I was your age, and that was my favorite. I love the color. The color resonated with me. That turquoise, teal,
all right.
And seafoam green is like my favorite color now, so I was always in that kind of realm, like between green and blue.
Oh, Eric has a really good seafoam green vintage Dior sweater. Did I find that for you?
Yes, at our Poppy from Boca's closet.
No, I don't think that was Poppy's.
Absolutely, it was.
Oh, okay.
Still has his name on it.
Oh,
from the dry cleaners.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Dan
So
DiCerno.
Eric's also become more into vintage. I'd say since I started doing the vintage towels and stuff like that, you've been more into the totally.
Yes.
Okay, so you told me about a style memory, a Tuck Everlasting.
There's also like a lot of fluorescence.
Yes.
Which I don't think was a mistake.
Right.
I don't think that was an outfit that I wouldn't go back to.
Right.
In the late 80s, early 90s when I was 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Like I still represent
what about,
like the Bugle Boy days.
I love Bugle Boy days. Oh my God. What about your bar mitzvah suit?
Do we want to go there?
Was it double-breasted?
For sure.
Yeah. So Eric,
double-breasted on like the skinniest kid, right?
Yeah.
And I looked probably more like Jewish mafia, but then the glasses, huge glasses, did not necessarily speak to that. So it was this weird, awkward stage.
You hadn't had your growth spurt yet. As many 13-year-old
I hadn't had a lot
boys.
of things yet. I was still 12 when I had my bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It was exactly a month before my birthday.
Yeah.
And I also got extremely made fun of for how high-pitched my voice was. So when I was
sad.
chanting my bar mitzvah, I was basically singing in like a very high-pitched tone. And then, that was like, I really got like between Tuck Everlasting and like my high-pitched voice.
6th, 7th
and, like,
grade was not.
I was a real late bloomer.
Okay, yeah.
But then my voice dropped
really
deeply,
low.
And I was like, okay, screw y'all. I'm a man now.
And then I came into the bar mitzvah wearing so that's the crazy thing is that we're 6 years apart. So like when Eric was having his bar mitzvah, I was in college. And I came home with my then college boyfriend who was a total blank, beep, beep. And we got into a fight at your bar mitzvah. I will never
and
forget. He stormed out. But anyway,
because he thought you were flirting with the MC at my bar mitzvah.
He did. He thought I was flirting with what were those people called? Dance. It was like EJM. EJM Entertainment. Okay, he thought I was flirting with EJM Entertainment. So crazy. But I was wearing a skin tight.
Way to make it about you, bro. I'm like,
I was wearing a skin tight snakeskin dress, silver metallic that I got in Great Neck at like Infinity, and these heels that I had gotten at Gildor. All my Long Island people will get this reference, but Gildor, I could not walk in them, but I kept those babies on all day until I literally was like hobbling.
Yeah,
but
you figured out how to dance enough to.
I did to get
have your
to
boyfriend
get Jay
walk
real
out
mad.
the door of the temple.
Exactly. Anyway, no respect. We broke up soon after that.
Okay.
Anyway, so back to Eric.
I'm noticing a trend because I do listen religiously to your podcast because I have to represent.
We're going to edit this part out now.
There's literally a moment in each guest's feature that like Hilary starts talking about herself and has to like say out loud, well, I know I'm talking about myself right now, but
Eric's saying that for me now. The name of the show is Never Over the Hil. Anyway, Harlan's over here laughing. He's like, I'm not editing that out, no matter what. I don't care what she says. Okay, so question: when you need to show up at an event that's really important, not as a chef, but like maybe as a representing yourself as a chef, like what is your go-to look? You're like more dressed up kind of look.
I have always, I will live and die by the idea of better to be too dressed up than not dressed up enough.
Okay.
And I think that catches people off guard sometimes, but it never didn't warrant a compliment.
Right.
Or I never felt awkward.
Eric's a Leo, by the way. And also very interesting, our last guest, Megan, has the exact same birthday as Eric, exact same year. Crazy.
Yeah,
from now on, I'm only having people on the pod who are July 29th birthdays. So if you have a July, just kidding. No, go on.
So random.
Leo. So you like the attention of being dressed up.
Yeah, I think also like to your question, I don't necessarily have the opportunity to like express myself dressing up outside of like a lot of running around day to day, like hustle bustle, like need to be ready to get dirty in the kitchen. So I'm not wearing my nicest pieces like on the day to day. It's not like I'm wearing, a suit or a cool outfit necessarily for my job inherently.
So then what, give us like an example of what you would wear. A tuxedo?
To an event? No, I would just style it up. Maybe like, a blazer with a t-shirt, with some cool shoes and jeans.
Okay.
But
you've also, I feel like you have gone to some weddings and some European things or whatever. You will wear a suit, like a full suit.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to ask the question.
Don't you have a pink suit?
I do, and if you get to the question like what
look will you never be over?
No. What was like one of your highlights of your
okay.
style?
Tell me about your most memorable style outfit. Yeah. We can move on to that.
Bringing up the Dusty Rose three-piece suit, that I've always wanted that color in a suit because historically I don't know I wouldn't say I was like more conservative in like my suit style, grays, navies, black, whatever. But I'd always want to like break out of that.
Right.
I mean, my bar mitzvah suit was like army green or something.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't forget
I'm like
it.
picturing this in my head right now. I thought it was gray, but I'm sure you remember more than me.
Yeah. But anyway, the Dusty Rose three-piece suit, super fitted, custom made, fun lining, very representative of something that someone else wouldn't necessarily have. And
do you like flash people with it? You're like, let me just get out my.
It's more like you take it off, you throw it over your shoulder, kind of thing. You still have the vest on.
Yeah.
But I wore to a wedding in Mallorca a couple years ago. I got that suit specifically for that, and I've worn it many times thereafter, but in different iterations. So the beauty of that is like, because it's like, it's somewhat neutral, but it's also bold, you know. And high low, yeah. Well, I made it high low. It's like you can take off the piece, and if you just wear the vest with jeans or khakis, you know, or you wear the suit pants with like Vans, or you wear the jacket, like it's a standout on its own, each of those pieces. So it's served me well. I've gotten a lot of different use out of it, but using it in creative ways.
So cool. Like bringing it back to I always say, if something is not versatile, if it can't be worn in more than one or two ways, I'm not interested in it as like a piece. I don't know if you feel like that about food too, like an ingredient. Like I feel like you take an ingredient and you use it like so many different ways.
Well, I think it's like the staples in your closet are the staples in your pantry.
Oh my God.
Right?
So, yes. Well, that's what we wanted to do our podcast on. So I wanted to do a podcast which was stories through food and fashion. So maybe we have to have that still. But I think a lot of people's memories are based on what they were eating or what they were wearing.
There's an emotional and sensory attachment to that.
Right.
That I think can't necessarily be replicated by many other things.
Right.
And
totally.
And it's the way you feel, right? It elicits like a taste memory, or it elicits like a visual memory.
Yep. Totally. I love this.
I'm
going back to this idea because
there are a lot of parallels between food and fashion.
I feel like you're too busy to have a podcast with me right now. Maybe in like a couple of years
we could barely find time for me to be on a podcast with yours.
Okay, so actually, what is your most versatile piece in your wardrobe? Is it the Dusty Rose?
No, that's I wouldn't say that's. It can be versatile when it needs to be, but it's not like my weekly piece of versatility.
Right. So, like, what piece are you reaching for the most?
I have a few versions of this, but definitely the button-down overshirt with, collared button-down overshirt, but thicker,
Okay. So, like a shacket?
Is that a chef coat and a jacket?
No, it's a shirt and a jacket. Okay. And I actually hate that word. I don't know why I just used that word, but it's just like funny.
I've never used that word.
That's
I didn't know if it was called a button-down overshirt. But
no, but you came out to Long Island yesterday, and we were wearing basically the same outfit.
So weird.
It was so weird, but not that weird. But you were wearing a cream-colored
boucle overshirt.
Yeah, that would be called a shacket. I guess.
Okay, well, I'm going to call it a button-down overshirt.
All right, so your most versatile piece is a button-down overshirt.
Yeah, it was like I can wear it
as a
to
shirt
work.
or a jacket.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like dinner,
Right.
Are we having lunch or are we having dinner?
Right.
Well, the beauty of it is you can wear it to either.
Right. Totally.
Right?
Yes. Okay.
So I can wear a shacket to dinner. So yeah, for work I can wear it, and for going out I can wear it. I have a couple others, but they're all thick wool or thick corduroy, like wide wale corduroy, or like boucle, or I have probably 4 or 5 of them that you can wear throughout the week and over. It's like I treat it like a pair of jeans, like it's just one element of like a layered outfit.
Yes.
So
totally.
I like layering.
Oh, you like layers. Layering is your thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I also am a layerer.
Sometimes I'll wear 4 layers in the winter instead of like a shirt and a winter jacket.
Right.
It's you can have multiple looks throughout the day. You can, be cooler or warmer.
Do you have to dress so you ride a Vespa sometimes, right? Do you have
every damn day?
Okay, so do you have to wear something specific on the Vespa? Like, is that why you layer so much, or what?
Oh, I wear what I need to wear.
Yeah.
As far as like keeping warm when it's 20 degrees in New York, and I ride from Brooklyn to Manhattan because it's better than the subway.
Totally. And then what is your most versatile piece in the summer?
In the summer, I would say I love a white band collar linen short sleeve shirt.
Cute.
Like
That's very chef-like
button
of
down,
you.
short sleeve, band collar, linen or not linen, but like it's clean. It's like I don't honestly see a lot of guys wearing band collar shirts. Like I literally used to wear them when in my bar mitzvah
Oh,
days,
yeah.
but like I still love a band collar shirt.
Right. So you going back to the 90s, which is
Sure,
basically,
but
yeah.
I think that for me, I haven't always necessarily followed a trend of fashion. Like basically, I have pieces that I were cool 15, 20 years ago
Right.
that I've worn all along, and now they're cool again. But
But you never stopped wearing them.
I never stopped wearing them, for
Right.
better or for worse.
Right. Totally. No, I love that. You like it's a classic thing. Like, and also you can wear them different ways at different times in your life.
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think like my seafoam turquoise suede Saba moccasins are
Oh yeah, those are good.
probably one of
Those
my
are good.
most like
Yep.
go-to versatile things in the like spring and summer. Because again, you can. That's like what I wore
Dress
with the
them up
dusty
and
pink
oh yeah,
suit.
that's right.
You know, I
I
wore the
love
white
those shoes.
a white band collar shirt with the three-piece dusty rose suit and the seafoam green suede moccasins.
Such a good look.
Sabas.
Do you have a photo of this that we can?
yes,
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
we're gonna pop that in.
Well,
maybe.
hopefully you pop it in because I've heard you've been lagging
Really?
on popping up the photos from
Have I?
your people. You admitted to it last week.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so let's get that up there in the
Always
show
like
notes.
always like a little brother to call you out on shit. Like seriously, you're like you love to do that to me.
So
Okay, so
my job.
what look will you never be over, Eric Bolyard?
Will never be over.
Like what is a look that so you
Yeah, I think it's. I think I mentioned it in some regard before, but I think kind of either whether it's a super clean, fresh tee or a little bit more like worn in vintage looking tee with like a sport jacket is something that I will always wear. And I think that's like how I dress myself up, but still, because it's, in my opinion, it's like kind of classic. It's modern, but it can feel vintage. It can feel contemporary, and having that kind of like worn in feel with something more polished over the
Right.
top of it.
and
Like
we were going back to the high low again.
it's the
Yeah.
high low, and that's like always gonna be like the thread through what I find that I would lean on.
Yeah. I actually think that I'm sitting here thinking, first of all, I wanted to open a shop called High Low back in the day. And actually the couch that we're sitting on is by Laura, who owns High Low Vintage.
Right. HILO.
Yes. And my look, my name for my style is Sexy Tomboy, which is the same thing. The sexy is the high, the tomboy is the low. And I feel like in life, like that's, you know, that's like the best mixture. It's like just it's balance. It's like yin yang. So
Yes,
it
yeah.
makes so much sense to me, and I love it.
And I know if you're wearing like baggier pants, you'll wear like a tighter top,
Yeah.
and like
Balance, like totally.
you're wearing
Yeah.
a little skirt, you're gonna wear like a bigger like sweatshirt
Yep,
kind of thing.
totally.
And I do the same. Like with ultra baggy jeans, like I'm gonna wear like a
tighter
a
t-shirt.
fitted t-shirt.
Yep.
Maybe I'll like throw on a looser jacket, but
Right.
like ultimately there's balance.
Balance, totally. Okay, so I asked last week. I did a little special end of the pod question for the specific guest, and because you're a chef, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Tell me, instead of the most versatile item in your closet, what is the most versatile ingredient that you use in your cooking? Trick question. You didn't study for this one.
Yeah, but ironically, this should be the one that is like
I know,
off the cuff,
but
like
it probably
most
is the
natural for me.
hardest. Yeah. You can do like top 3.
I mean, really, really good French butter is definitely up there.
Yeah.
You can literally put it on anything.
Sure can.
The toasted caramelized version of that, brown butter, is probably for sure top on my list.
Okay.
Because that adds just like depth and complexity to any dish.
Okay.
It can make you appear as like a well established, highly executed chef with literally no effort.
It's the secret ingredient.
It's the secret ingredient to elevating, the everyday thing.
Yes. Okay.
And instantly makes it feel elegant.
Okay.
So for that reason, yeah, I love having that in the back pocket.
Okay. Literally?
Not literally.
While you're riding your Vespa with your chef hat on in your dusty rose suit.
Yes. Really painted a vision there.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so I think butter. I mean, what did you say? No. French, high end, no.
Just really high quality.
French
salted butter.
Okay, high quality
Or
French
like-
salted butter. Everybody get that and use it as a staple ingredient, and you will be a famous chef.
Basically.
All right, so I feel like we've gone through all the questions, and I could obviously sit here and talk to you for the rest of our lives because I love you so much, and it's always something that I just wanted to say, like, that's so important to me is that even though you're my little brother, you're like my best friend. And I love you. And we always laugh. Like, if I need to boost my mood, I will call Eric on the phone. Even if he's not being funny, something about us talking makes me like crack up laughing at myself. Like, I'm just like...
She's very good at laughing at her own jokes.
Yeah.
She doesn't take herself too seriously either,
No.
though. So that's like, I think I'm grateful that we have found a way, like, walking through life to... shit is real, but, we can always take a step back and laugh about ourselves.
Yep.
I mean, I love some of these questions because it does reflect on the things that we can laugh about now that maybe we wouldn't have then,
Right. Yeah.
But ultimately, that's the most important thing to keep us young, and happy is
Totally.
not taking ourselves too seriously and being able to laugh about it.
Yep. Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you.
Instagram's the best way, at Eric W. Bolyard, Bolyard, which was Hilary's last name before it was DeRoy.
Yep.
And at Compagnie NYC, Compagnie NYC. It's the French term.
Yes, and we'll put those in the show notes. I don't even know. What is it?
It's the first thing he does in the morning.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this is the big reveal. The big reveal.
Oh my God. Okay,
you're
so wait, hold on. I
This is gonna have
literally,
to
okay.
Go on a hard edit.
No,
session
maybe.
at the
I don't
end
even
here.
know because I like to keep it real. Like, so Harlan can edit it or not. But so before we end our show, I always ask the same 3 questions. What is the first thing you do in the morning? First thing. Well, like,
Since I try to push a bunch of water down my throat because running around, as a chef, you'd think like that would be top of mind. It never is.
Okay.
So I overcompensate
Okay.
in the end of the night and in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm
do you
chugging water.
Water, is it straight up water? Do you put lemon? Do you put salt? Is there anything?
Yeah, I try to do like a Himalayan pink salt
Okay.
solution
Okay.
splashed in there.
Yep.
And then go straight to the coffee.
Totally. I'm the same. Okay. What is the last thing you do before you go to bed?
It fluctuates a lot. Sometimes I'm at one of the wine bars late. Sometimes I'm out a little bit earlier. I'm trying to find a little bit of balance in my life in this world of hospitality and the restaurant industry. What's important for me now, more than it had been in the past, is just journaling, writing down acknowledgments from the day. Like, what did I do well?
Love that.
Giving
So
myself
important.
acknowledgement of like small wins. And then, also like being critical, but in a gentle way, like, what could I have done better? What did I learn? And just try to keep the growth mindset alive and like go to bed, kind of like putting those thoughts to bed, for lack of a better term, such that I can go to bed without overthinking
Totally.
the day
Yeah,
and what tomorrow will come.
Get it out on the paper. So smart. I actually should start doing that again. Okay, and what do you sleep in? I'm actually scared to ask this question to my brother.
Not much.
Okay.
Not much.
Well, hopefully something.
Yeah. You asked, I told.
Okay.
I like feeling like natural, just probably underwear.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll just
For
leave
the
it at
sake of the
underwear.
kids.
Okay. Okay. Thank God that, I remembered to ask those questions on my own. All right, so we can find you at Company NYC.
Or company_Flatiron.
Oh, yeah, so that's the newest, the latest restaurant.
Newest wine bar, and then Experimental Cocktail Club. We also opened a really cool cocktail bar, speakeasy, subterranean den underneath the
And
new wine bar.
it just got written up in Vogue, right?
We've been getting some good press, so
Yeah.
grateful for that.
So cool. Well, it was a pleasure having you here on this Monday morning after daylight savings. Crazy times.
Got to start strong.
Yep. So that's it. I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks
for
for
having
being.
me.
Mwah. Okay. Peace.
Peace.